Hi, welcome back. I guess. I guess welcome back if you're coming back. If not, welcome. My name's Kara. This is the kitchen I cook in. Today I'm going to do a couple food preservation projects. I got this for the corn on the cob for about 33 cents each. So I bought a couple for each month of the year. So there's 24 there. I figure two corns on the cob a month, not a big deal. I have some onions here that I probably won't use up. So I'm going to chop those up into little, I'm going to dice them and then put those in food saver bags and freeze them. All of it's going to be frozen. This is squash that came from the garden. That needs to be cut up and also put into the freezer because we're just not getting through it as quickly as we're getting it. So all of this needs to be done. And yeah, so here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is all washed. I shucked it at the store. I'm going to just chop off the tops and the bottoms, and then I'm going to put them in the food saver bags with butter on it. And when we're ready to use them, I'll pull it out of the freezer, put it in boiling water, and they'll be ready to eat. So the first thing, like I said, I'm going to chop off the tops and the bottoms. Maybe I won't. There we go. Right here is where I'm cutting the ends off the corn. I'm just trying to make both ends flat so that way when we use the little pokey forks for the corn, which I'm sure is the super official term, I can easily hook those onto each side and have something to hold the corn to eat with. So that's why I've done the cutting of the ends. I also discovered that I didn't actually have 24 ears of corn like I had thought. I only had 21. Okay, so the corn is now all cut. The next thing I'm gonna do is make 12 of these vacuum sealed bags so that I can put the corn inside of them. These lemons, the lemons are another project I need to do. So I'm gonna just, these bags have measurements on them. This looks, should I do this way? I think I should go this way and pull it back a little. Okay. That looks like it'll work. So what is that? 1, 2, 3. Superficial measurements. I don't know what they are, but there are 3 lines involved here, so I'm going to just go with that. And we're doing seal only. So I'm going to do this 12 times so that there's 2 corn will go in each bag. And again, the butter I'll put in the bag with them. Oh, I'm a dodo. That was stupid. Okay, so I accidentally sealed a bag that I'm gonna, hopefully this will hold too, but I doubt it. One can hope. Let's see. Oh, it will. Okay. So I'll go 2 corn on the cob like that, and I'll do this bag, and then I'll just get an assembly line going here. This butter, look at how yellow it is. Delish. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I guess, 2, they're probably 1/4-inch slices. See it on the knife there. And let's see if I can get it off. That's the real question. There we go. And so I'll put the butter in the bag on top of the corn. Just like that. And then I'll put the bag in the vacuum sealer. And this time, instead of just sealing, I'll do vacuum and seal. Round food is definitely harder. Okay, let's see. Okay, remind me not to cut the bag this small next time. Round food is definitely harder. Okay, let's see. Okay, remind me not to cut the bag this small next time. Okay, so we're gonna do vacuum and seal, which is a little noisy. Okay. So that's vacuum sealed. It'll last in the freezer for, if this one's the one that makes it to next June, then it will. I don't really foresee it actually being in the freezer until June because I think that we'll end up eating them. But if it was to be in there until June, it will last. Also, you can freeze butter. So this will be completely fine and ready to go if I decide, hey, you know what? As a side tonight for dinner, we're going to have corn. So now I'm going to do this to the rest of them, but I'm going to get more of an assembly line going. I know doing this isn't the most fun and exciting thing to do, but I know long term this is going to help me out. I'll have sides for the meals that we cook throughout the summer, into the fall, winter, and potentially even into next spring. And it's already ready for me to just pop into a pot of boiling water. Like I've said, we're not huge corn on the cob fans here. We usually have it for the patriotic holidays, and that's pretty much it. We'll incorporate corn into some meals like shepherd's pie, chicken pot pies, stuff like that, but we don't actively reach for corn as the vegetable that we add on to any meal that we have. So having this in the freezer, I suppose over the next few months to a year, we'll reach for it a little bit more because it's accessible, but it's not our go-to vegetable by any means. So you can see I've put 2 ears of corn in each bag, 2 slices of butter in each bag with the corn, and then I'm going to go to seal each bag. I've also labeled it with the date. Not all the corn seals up perfectly the first time, so some I do have to do a couple times, and that's okay. It's a little annoying, but it's still okay because it did get done, and I know that it's protected in the freezer right now. But overall, I highly recommend getting a vacuum sealer if you're interested in doing any kind of food prep or even any kind of food preservation project in the kitchen. It helps out with just being able to elongate the life of whatever food you might have to be able to put in the freezer or even leave on the counter. Okay, so that was our last bag. Okay, so I went ahead and made 10 bags. Whatever we use for the onions probably will not be 10. It'll probably be like 4 or 5. But what's left we'll use for the squash. So I pulled out my chopper because I will slice these only and then put them in the chopper, and then we'll scoop. I don't know if I want to do a half a cup or a full cup. I think I'm going to do a half a cup of onions into each bag and then seal them and straight into the freezer. And onions are perfectly fine frozen, and pull them out, put them in whatever you need. Of course, they're not going to be as fresh and straight from the garden or the grocery store or wherever you've gotten them, but it is a good alternative if you don't go through produce or food that's going to spoil us, pretty quickly. So, all right, and I've gone through plenty of onions. See, even this onion, I'm going to have to chop part of it off. It just doesn't look great. So this is the exact reason this needs to be done, and that's only on the outside, so I'm not particularly worried about it. But you can see there where it's not blemish free by any means. These are potent though, let me tell you, because my eyes are already starting to worry. My eyes are worrying. So see, even just that first cut, it's perfectly clean underneath. Okay, then we're gonna take this This project is a project that I am not mad about at all. Chopping onions up. While it's not fun, I do know that this is going to be extremely helpful in the future. We do use onions pretty frequently. Pasta sauces, pastas in general, pastas with vegetables. We'll use it to saute with mushrooms. We'll include it in meatloaves. We will include it in pastas and pasta sauces. You can see right here, my eyes are getting a little weepy from the pungent onion smell burning. I had tears running down my face, but again, it was worth it for what we were doing. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can. So I'm going to cut and chop, cut and chop, cut and chop. Once it's all chopped in here, I'll scoop it, put it in the bag. I'm also going to try to not suffer, but it's not really going so well. Okay, let's do it. I love this chop tool, and if you don't have one, I highly recommend you get one. They're so easy to use. I use them for onions, garlic. I'll use them for literally anything. I've used this to chop nuts. They have different setting sizes. This also has a mandolin that attaches to the top of it, and it has the scallop blade to chop cucumbers. You can say I'm not doing so well, but I'm still actively trying to talk to you. Here I'm showing you that all the chunks of onion that get sliced through the chopper end up in that nice little basket and keeps it all contained. There is actually another basket that goes inside of it, but I find it to be annoying because I don't use it for what it's intended for. And it's a basket that catches the vegetables, but will let the juices drain out. All four are done now. So now what I'm going to do is take the onions, put them in the bags, and we'll see how many bags we end up with. Okay. What I will end up writing is how many cups, though. So just like with the corn, I'm starting to bag up the onions, and I end up with 5 packets of onions chopped up that hold 3/4 cups of onion, and then one bag has 1 full cup of onions. So there's 6 bags prepped right there that'll go to 6 different meals, because no recipe that I have used, at least not until now, has required a cup of onions. 5 cups of onions. They are now all ready to go into the freezer for whatever future cooking project requires them, which is nice because that's probably 5 days worth of 5 meals worth. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I lie, it's 6 meals worth of onions right there, which is great. So I have 10 meals for the corn and 6 meals for the onions. All right, so the corn is done. The onions are done. Now it's time to do the garden squash. These are little golden grillers that I grew in the garden. It's still a plant that is just continuing to give, even though it's not getting any attention. And it's huge. It's like 4 feet by 4 feet. This one plant, and it's just like a huge dome. There's a fucking fly in here. So these will get blanched. I'm going to cut them into chunks how we would eat them with dinner. Usually when we eat these, I put them inside a foil pocket with butter and seasoned salt and put it in the oven with whatever food we're making that night, and it's delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these up. Part of the zucchini family or whatever. I did already wash these. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. And we probably eat 1 squash with whatever meal we decide to pair it with. So that's why we haven't gone through a ton of it. We have actually probably eaten 6. No, it's more than that. We've probably had closer to 9. And we could be having it with every meal. That'd be totally fine. But we don't make dinner every single night. So we just don't. We can't get through it. This one looks a little suspect, but the inside might be okay. Inside's not okay. I'm not gonna bother with that one. That one probably lives a good life. So unfortunately, I should have done this project sooner. But here we are. This is the next project, and I can only do so much. I work full time, and I don't have all day every day. I wish I could, to be in the garden and be in the kitchen and be with the dogs and doing craft projects and stuff like that. I wish I could do that. This one is also looking a little dark. This center looks okay. That looks okay too. So we caught this one. You know, I wish I could be doing that stuff, but life, bills, and it's not realistic for me. Okay, last one, and I know this one's okay because this is the most recent one I picked. So, oops, let's go forward with this one. Okay. I know right now in the garden I have probably like 3 of these growing, so no shortage, that's for certain. Okay, so these are all cut up into chunks. These are going to go into the pot, the boiling water, to be blanched, and then they're going to go immediately into the cold water after about 30 seconds or so. I am interested to see what this one looks like in the center. Oh, yeah, so this one's way past its prime there. This is where you can see that I am blanching the yellow squash. It needs to be done because if you put it directly into the freezer without blanching it, there's going to be more of a tendency for it to come out mushy. Now, I eat it mushy anyway, so I don't even know why I took this extra step because I'm perfectly happy eating squash mush or squash. But it's nice, and it takes literally an extra probably 5 minutes because you have to wait for the water to boil. You'll put whatever vegetable goes into it that you're trying to blanch. It'll stay in there for 30 seconds or so, and then you'll put it directly into ice cold water, which is what you see here. And then you make sure that all the squash gets nice and cold and stops cooking through. And then prior to freezing it in like a clump, you'll either flash freeze it by laying all the squash out on a flat pan, putting it in the freezer for a few hours, and then bagging it up and freezing it, or you can lay it on a towel on your counter so that it can dry out that way as well. Okay, so they have been through the hot water. They're now sitting in the ice water. And so basically the point of putting them in the ice is so that I swear I can speak and I'm not having a stroke. The point of putting them into the ice water is so that they do not continue to cook. So this now will be ready to vacuum seal. You can see one of the seeds right there. You can see that green seed. While we wait for this to cool down just a little bit longer, I'm going to go ahead and clean. And then once they're ready, we're going to bag them up and we'll be done with these food projects. Yes, we'll be done with these food projects. All right. Okay, scratch that. I'm actually going to lay these out on paper towels so that they dry completely so that I can freeze them. So there's quite a bit here. We're going to use this good old spoon here and start laying them on the paper towels to dry out. Now, actually, some of these still feel warm. Okay. Here we go. When you lay the squash out, you're going to put them in a nice even layer, just one, not on top of each other, because the point is to dry them out hopefully as quickly as you want them to, so that you can store them however quickly you want them to, which is typically pretty immediate. So I did this and then waited about 20 or so minutes for the squash to dry, and if I'm being honest, it could have sat a little bit longer. Okay, that's it. I'm going to dump this out. I'm going to clean. I'm going to wait about 20 minutes for this to dry, and then we'll be back to bag them up. See you shortly. Okay, that fly is still flying around. I have let these sit out for probably 20 or so minutes. I did try to seal some in a bag, but they are producing a lot of liquid. So what I'm going to do is put them in a Ziploc bag first and then vacuum seal it from there. This is not something that I'm going to cook on the stove like I would with the corn. It'll be more like the onions. So what I'm going to do is not quite fill these Ziploc baggies up, but I am going to put a good amount in them. And then I'll put these inside the food saver bags and seal that up. And I'll try to get as much air out of here as I can. And I'm trying to look for about 2 servings per bag. What we go through is 2 servings. Let's see, maybe a little bit more here. That looks decent. I don't even know what to do. Do I suck the air out of this or just zip it? That's decent, right? Thanks for stopping by. Come back again and see what's up next. Like, subscribe, comment. Yeah. All right. See you real soon. Bye.